Charles Darwin is one of the most famous scientists who ever lived, whose ideas changed history. But he didn't always seem destined for greatness. Charles Darwin was born in Shrewsbury, England in 1809. His family was wealthy. His father was a respected doctor and his mother was a member of the Wedgwood family, famous for making pottery. But she died when Charles was just 8, and so he was cared for by his sisters. Charles didn't do that well in school. He didn't like learning the classics and preferred to dabble in chemistry, which was not a respectable subject for a gentleman, earning him the nickname Gas. His father was worried that he was aimless and sent him to study medicine at Edinburgh University. There he learnt a lot. How to identify the age of rocks, how to classify plants and stuffed animals, and radical ideas about evolution, the change of living things over time. He didn't learn much medicine. In fact, surgery made him sick. So he swapped universities and prepared for life as an Anglican gentleman. But his life changed when he decided to take a trip on the HMS Beagle. It was setting out to chart the coast of Patagonia, and Charles came on board to keep the captain company and do his own exploring. He was rapt. He saw jungles that left his mind in a, quote, chaos of delight, collected amazing creatures and ancient fossils, and watched as geological forces shaped the earth. He marvelled at the beauty and cruelty of nature, and of human beings. And all of it made him wonder about time and life and change. By the time the Beagle had sailed home via Tahiti, New Zealand and Australia, Darwin was full of questions. Why did ancient animals become extinct? Why did they share traits with living creatures? Why did creatures differ from place to place? He began to think, perhaps all these things were connected. Charles published the diaries of his trip and spent the next few years starting a family, breeding pigeons and studying barnacles, all the while exploring his theory of natural selection. Another naturalist named Alfred Russel Wallace had come up with a similar theory on his own travels, and he wrote to Darwin. In 1858, the two men published what's seen as one of the most important scientific papers ever written. 1 year later, Darwin published his book, On the Origin of Species. It was controversial because it flew in the face of what a lot of people had been taught, that the world was created by God as it is. But it was also a huge success. Darwin spent the rest of his life testing his theory, and in the years since, it's become the foundation of modern biology, forever changing our understanding of the world and our place in it.